Hi, my name is Derek with the College of Engineering. I'm here with Fernando Sanchez Lopez, but you go by
Ferch.
Ferch.
Yes, that's correct.
Explain Ferch for me, please.
Ferch came when I was like 6 years old. Well, around like 7 years old. The nickname for my dad is Fercho, so everyone started calling me Ferchito, but it was like too long. So I decided to truncate it to Ferch. I started going by Ferch, and everyone in my classroom started calling me Ferch, professors, and it just stayed from there. So now I'm going by Ferch.
Easier for you and everybody else.
Yeah,
right?
and now like every time that I hear Fernando, it's just like either my mom is like mad at me or like I did something wrong. So I just like, yeah.
I want to get into this adversity thing just a little bit with you. Talk about your journey to SJSU, because it wasn't a simple one, but I think it's an interesting story.
Yes, so it's not a simple one. I feel like my journey always starts back in Mexico. I was born and raised in Mexico, Mexico City specifically. At 3 years old, both of my parents came to the United States to be able to afford a better life for me. I stayed back with the grandparents of the side of my dad, and I basically grew up to them. My grandma and my grandmother, they're like a second set of fathers, like parental figures to me, and as well as my aunt, my uncle, we all were growing up together, and while both of my parents were here, I wouldn't see them like a lot. It would be like once or twice, like every year to every other year, and then somewhere along the way, my dad got deported. He came back to Mexico when I was like, I think 8 years old, something like that. But my mom stayed here to still provide for me. She's the one that has been the main support financially for me throughout my school. I was afforded the private education, hence why I was able to learn English since really young and kind of like pick up the language. And then like fast forward to graduating high school, 1 week before about to start university in Mexico, I decided to come to the United States. It's an opportunity that I had thanks to like my mom at that time, when she used to work for the Mexican consulate, and I knew if I didn't take the opportunity, I will probably regret it. So 1 week before starting, I was just like, you know what, maybe I actually want to go study in the United States. So that's when I was able to kind of like cancel my admission in Mexico City. And then it started like my process to come to the United States. I took a semester off, and then I come here. I didn't know anyone but my mom. It was like a complete new culture for me, from transportation to the way of living to the people around me. Like everyone looked like me in some way in Mexico City, and in here there's like a melting pot of different identities, ethnicities, race. I became more aware of who I was as a person in terms of like my race, my ethnicity, my accent, and everything else. But I ended up taking the community college route thanks to like a suggestion that my mom made actually. She was just like, just take some classes, even if you like get into like a very clear Stanford, you can just go for the first semester, so you're not doing like nothing basically. So I started at College of Marin. And I feel like that's where my journey fully first started. I had higher education in here, and I remember after that I started to just get involved halfway through the semester. On my first semester at community college in College of Marin, I went to this Southern California trip to like get to know the colleges in the South. I went to UCLA and everything. University of Southern California, and I started to knowing like these other opportunities that I had that I didn't know before. But I also started meeting more people, and that's when I first started getting more involved. I ran for student government. I got the Center of Public Relations and Marketing position, and then I just throughout like my stay at community college, I was the vice president, and then I ended up being my last year the president throughout the pandemic of the student government. And then during that years when I applied to different transfer to the school, and I ended up choosing San Jose State, and that's where my journey starts here. And I just wanted to kind of like translate that involvement that I had in community college already to San Jose State. It was a bigger environment. It was a little threatening just in terms of like it's a bigger campus, it's more people that were there, but I feel like also being the first semester back after the pandemic allowed me to kind of like transition in, because it was not as busy as it is like right now.
So touch on this a little bit. Why San Jose State University? Why did that stick out for you?
Yeah, so I applied to different universities, but at the end, the choice was between Santa Clara and San Jose State. Santa Clara is a private university, so it was like a little more hefty of the financial part of it, and San Jose is like a state university, so it was more affordable. But at the end of the day, my mom and my stepfather were just both like, if you want to go to Santa Clara, we'll make the effort to. We all sat down at the table. We basically started going to like pros and cons. And at the end of the day, San Jose State took out more because it's an HSI university, a Hispanic serving institution. So I feel like I could see myself more in campus and I could find like a better community. I came to the campus and it's pretty big, but also like pretty small in the same sense, in the sense that it's like very compact and everything is like, together, I feel like. And I liked it. I had like that sense of like, I can see myself like working here and just being around. And doing more research, I found that the engineering program was actually really good.
Okay.
So that was also like a big plus for me. And then just being so close to Silicon Valley, that's a huge plus. There's a lot of opportunities, and I don't regret my decision coming here. We recently got ranked like 4th public university in the whole nation, so that's a huge plus. So yeah, that's why I chose SJSU at the end.
Okay. Talk about your community involvement, for instance, with Jose and you going into the Hispanic community and just inspiring young people to pursue STEM as a career, yes, but just getting more familiar with it.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like one of my commitments is to my community, and I always want to give back in every way that I can. And I know that Jose shares that same vision. Jose is a former president of the Society of Latino Engineers and Scientists. He graduated last year, but he came back to do a master at SJSU. He's now part of my executive board at Science Extravaganza. He's my treasurer now, so it's like we're still connected. But yeah, throughout, like with Solis, we will go to different panels, mostly high schools, and they get to listen firsthand of our experience. Like, it's not the same when you're hearing from, I feel like it's more impactful for them at that age to hear from a student, current either community college or university student, than hearing from someone that is already like graduated. I feel like for us that we're like now in like university, it's impactful to hear from professionals, but at that age it's impactful for them to hear to someone that is going through that journey like right now, and like all of the different like struggles and challenges that they face and how they have overcome them. And we see them with the questions that they ask, just in terms of like, hey, how are you doing it? Like, is it really possible? And we're always trying to like encourage them, be like, it's not easy, but it is possible. Like, we are here, we're proof that we are able to do it, and we are the first generation. Like a lot of us that go through those panels are first generation, if not all of us are like first generation. So we didn't have those role models for us to follow. So we want to kind of like be those encouragement voices for them and push them and be kind of like an advocate for them to pursue higher education. And another way that I like to do it is through Science Extravaganza. Science Extravaganza is a great program. We like to call it kind of like a sister org to Solis. We're more from the part of the Mexican American Society of Engineers and Scientists, which is MICE for sure, and it's kind of like a national chapter. It's similar to like SHEP, the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. But what MICE does is like they have this idea to host like these different events, which is STEM-based workshops that we go on the fall to present at different middle school, primarily Title I, which is underserved institutions that have primarily underrepresented populations. They are majoritarily Latino populations, so we go to them and we present these STEM-based workshops that we make them fun in some way for them, so they're creating something that is STEM-based, and they might know it, they might not know it, but they're having fun at it. So we're kind of like poking their brain into just like for them to see that the STEM is fun. STEM is something that is able that they can make fun and they can have fun doing, and they are able to achieve. And even if it's just only one student in that class that we present the workshop to that might be interested in becoming a space engineer because of the rocket activity that we did,
right.
or any other type of engineering because of the activity that we do, we feel like we're doing our job in kind of like push those students and motivate them to see themselves be part of the engineering field. And then similar like Science Extravaganza, we do that during the fall, and then in the spring, on February, we have this event in which instead of we going to the kids, we bring the kids to us. All of the kids, we bring like 350 students from different middle schools in the east side. And we host workshops for them. We have our SJSU volunteers, but we invite industry partners to come and host those workshops. So we have had partners like Lockheed Martin, Google, Cisco, Niantic. A lot of them, I'm blanking on a lot of different great organizations that we have come that they donate their time. Some donate funds for us to be able to host this event. And they host the workshops for the kids. The kids have a blast. You just hear kids screaming and laughing and just like having fun all throughout the engineering building and the student union ballroom. It's a full day. It's pretty hectic for us, but it's rewarding in the sense that the kids are having fun and the kids are seeing that STEM is fun, and it's just not all just like math, how we like are taught sometimes to like fear. So yeah, and then the industry partners also see and they feel like they're helping the next generation of STEM leaders. So it's not only us doing it, but we're bringing our support group from like the actual like industry professionals that are working like in Silicon Valley industries to help us do that work.
You're not only the recipient of the CSU recognition, but you're also getting a scholarship, the Harry Wong Scholarship,
yes.
Right? Talk to me about getting that, because you've gotten it a couple of years, right? Or not, just the first year?
This is my first year. My last, I think my last 2 years I've gotten scholarships through MESA. The first year I got the MESA scholarship, and then the second year I got the MESA scholarship through KLA, I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah, they got like a grant for them to like fund those scholarships. So that's what they got. But yeah, this year I got the Harry Wong Scholarship, and I'm like super thankful for that. For me, every time that I receive any type of financial worth in that sense is for me like someone is backing me up and believes in me and it's supporting me kind of like in my journey, and specifically in this like last part of my educational journey, my higher educational journey of before getting like my bachelor's degree. It's really important for me, and it just pushes me and fuels me to keep going and to keep doing my best and to keep pushing and just getting good grades, and also being involved academically and non-academically. And is for me just feels like someone believes in me and is liking what I'm doing, what I have done, and what I have, the potential that I have, or the potential or where I'm able to be in the future.
Okay. You've seemed pretty busy, and you're graduating in the spring.
Yes.
And you've kept yourself busy. I mean, busier than 3 people, I think, or 4 people. But you're graduating in the spring. What are your plans for after graduation?
Yes, I love this question. I've thought a lot. My original plan was like the normal one, or like the traditional route, that is just like going to work at a Silicon Valley company. And that was my dream. Like for the longest, every time that I would ask me, what is your goal? I would be like, I want to work as an engineer for Apple. But that has shifted now. I want to go into like a non-traditional route for an engineer in some way. Because of my lived experiences, what I have witnessed with my involvement in all of like these different panels and all of these different other activities that I do in terms of working with like middle school and also high school students, I found that there's a need to do some research in terms of like all of the different students that we might be losing from studying careers in STEM because we lose them somewhere along the way in the cracks that the educational system currently has, in terms of the lack of opportunities that it has, the lack of encouragement, or many other different ways. That's what I want to kind of like look at into what has influenced, what influences a student to go in STEM and what influenced them to not go into STEM, because I know that there's a lot of students that I've talked to that at some point they wanted to be an engineer, and they might not know it by name, but they knew that they wanted to do, like, just listening to them, someone said that, like, oh yeah, like I wanna explore the space, and that's like an aerospace engineer, like I wanna build rockets and everything, or I wanna be part of that the people that the team that designed that, or they do that, and they might not know that that's an aerospace engineer, but somewhere along the way they were just like, yeah, but I don't know if I'm able to do it, or I changed and I wanted to be now something else because someone told me that it might be something that I might not be able to do. So I kind of want to do research towards that. So I want to go to graduate school, and then when obtaining my degree from graduate school, I want to be able to be in a position of power that allows me to leverage that power to advocate for students in terms of STEM and social justice. So I want to bridge them, kind of like advocate for the needs, like the MESA engineering program does, kind of like do something similar. If that means going into education and as a professor, or education as a director, but I definitely want to kind of like bridge like my STEM background with like education, and kind of like support the next generation of leaders. And my ultimate goal, like for long term, would be to kind of like create a nonprofit that bridge both STEM, equity, and social justice.
It's sort of a trick question for you. If you had to sum up your experience before coming to San Jose State and being at San Jose State in 4 words, what would those words be?
I would say it will be transformative, inspiring, challenging, and motivating. I feel like, but motivating and inspiring can be like the same word, so I'm going to change that last one to probably joyful. I think I find like a lot of joy in all of the things that I've done and everything that I have accomplished, and just like looking back, my journey has been transformative. It has been filled with challenges, but I have been able to overcome them, and I've got inspired with different like communities that I belong to, and the people that I've been able to meet, and all of that has just made me really happy, really like playful, and just happy to where I'm at right now.
Well, Ferch, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy day. I know you're busy.
Of course.
To do this and talk to the
Yes.
camera, so more people can know about you.
Of course.
What you went through. What you still have in store for yourself.
Thank you. Yes.
So it's all amazing, I have to say. So thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate it so much.
Of course.